You feeling better?
A little bit, yeah. So a little congested.
So Cleo's just gonna call in.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw my email to the board, but we're gonna go into executive session up front
Oh, okay, yeah, sounds good.
because we're gonna lose Alapaki otherwise.
Oh, that's right, he's leaving at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Then Yumi brought that in for you. I don't know.
Oh, that's for the executive session.
So is it live now?
Yep.
Okay.
For executive session, you want me to step off?
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Mute, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yes. Okay, so. Okay, let me get my agenda.
I don't know if John Comigi is gonna call in right at the start because I told him we're gonna do executive session.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay.
And if he calls in, yeah, let him in, but I told him we're gonna go executive session in the beginning.
Yeah, I let him in initially as a panelist, but then he just logged off now.
He just logged off.
Yeah.
Courtney, you know the agenda, what day did you send it on? There's so many emails. It's really, I think you need to include everything on one email right before the meeting. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So what day was the agenda sent? Because I can't find it. And I know I asked you the other day, but I can't find. Oh, wait, is this it?
If you go to the Google Groups.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I think, no, that's the minutes. Oh, here's the agenda. Okay. Wait.
November 3rd, Chairman, November 3rd.
No, I got it.
Good.
Yeah.
Actually, if you wanted to go home, just call it go home. Especially if we're gonna do executive session first.
Anyway, just go through that. Yeah.
Well, you can go now.
On 6th. Okay.
So it's
So,
just, no?
I guess it's just Diana, you and I.
Okay, I can't even see Diana. Oh, yeah, here, I see Diana. Okay. Okay. Bye, Diana.
Okay.
Okay, so
No Billy and no.
yeah, well, we're waiting for Julie.
Okay.
Julie said was gonna try to get out of a meeting early, but otherwise she would be a few minutes late.
Okay.
And Andy is traveling.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
newspaper.
Do it now, when we
We'll
go.
switch off.
Okay.
Is it because it's not charged or there's something wrong with it?
Not charged.
Uh-oh. Something, is there a problem, Greg?
No, the computer that we have to use, when we go into executive session, the battery is dead. We don't know if it's a problem with the battery so we're gonna have to use my computer to start that meeting.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Hi, Gary. Let's see.
Hi, Chair, while we're waiting, I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. And I see John logged in. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
And Jesse, yeah. Okay. Oh,
Hi, Chair.
Oh.
I was just going to listen in because Gary's here.
yeah, that's fine. Oh, and then Pocky just logged in too. So that's good.
I am late.
Hello. Aloha. No, we're actually waiting for Julie because she said she'd be a few minutes late.
Okay. That means I can go bathroom for the first time today.
Yeah, go ahead, because Gary's went to the bathroom too. Oh, hi, Nahua. I didn't mean to not say hello. I know it's been one of those days, though. I gotta tell you. Oh my gosh. It's like a three-ring circus at my house now.
How many grandkids you have at your house now?
Just one is visiting, but
Oh,
That's all it takes.
yeah, and the schedules, So today everybody decides they have meetings, and so then, anyway, so I kind of stuck, and then I'm like rushing to get things done. But it's all good. It's all great. No complaints.
yeah.
Yeah. I see. So, okay. So Alapaki is back. So Greg, what I'm thinking is I'll call the meeting to order and maybe start with some of the reports and then wait for Julie. Or do you want me to do you think I should just wait?
No, we can start because I want to make sure we take care of our ministerial stuff.
Okay. Okay, so I see Gary's back. All right. So it is now, I have 5:05. Is that right? I have 5:05. Gonna call the meeting to order. We don't have quorum. We're waiting for Julie to call in. But I wanted to call the meeting to order so we could get some of, the agenda information covered before she attends. So I will first ask for.
Chair, I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you don't have quorum, I don't believe you can start the meeting.
Oh,
If that's the idea.
yeah, okay. I was hoping we could go over some stuff. We're not voting on anything. today's meeting. It's all just information, but it's okay, we'll wait. Shucks, okay.
It's okay.
Whoops. Greg, do you think Courtney could just text Julie to see about what time she thinks she'll be able to log in?
I'm
Or
texting her. I'm texting
Oh.
her now.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Chair, and just in case you didn't see the email, I have a 6 o'clock obligation. My apologies.
No, I know. That's why we want to get certain things done. Alapaki, so the plan is as soon as we have quorum with Julie, I want to go into executive session, so we make sure we have you and we'll have till 6 o'clock to just cover administrative stuff.
Yeah.
So I just texted Julie.
Okay.
Would it be Gary okay to like, usually there's some Q&A. I see John's on the line too. I mean, that's just information only, right?
Well, I think you can have a casual informal discussion, but since it's board business, only two of you could do that. I think it'd be tough in this setting to really talk about anything that might be on the agenda, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting, Alapaki, I was up at the Iole last weekend.
Oh, nice.
Very nice, yeah. I was at a retreat.
Which group was it?
It was actually the observatory directors.
Oh,
We had a session talking about the future of astronomy on Mauna Kea. So it was a good discussion.
that's a good place, just you can get away. Still on island, but you feel like you're away. And did you get to meet Aubrey?
Not Aubrey, but I met Michelle.
Michelle, yeah.
Yeah. She was the only one there. I guess our group was the only one there that weekend, so Michelle was the only one that was around.
Cool. Miss those guys in that place.
Is the fish operation closed down?
My understanding is they're not, parts of it are closed, but they're not, completely closed, and they're not off site yet for sure. But what they're doing it's been scaled back.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to move to an alternative site, and that site's not online yet.
Out of curiosity, how many fish? What was it, a large number?
Thousands and thousands.
Wow. Then that's a big project to move.
Yeah, certainly enough that you don't want to be stuck with them. And I would just say I did try to inquire what it would take to move, like if I had to deal with it myself.
Uh-huh.
And it's not possible.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
like worst case scenario, they gets abandoned and they die. Like there's no one who'll move that for you.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Oh my, I know, and that's right. So then you're dealing with a really difficult.
environmental, yeah. So there's a strong incentive to cooperate on the movement, because there's the movement of the the adult, the fish that are being grown, and then the nursery, two different
Uh,
you know
right,
the,
operation.
yeah, the breeder fish, the broodstock, is the actual value. That's the value per fish. That's the money fish.
Uh-huh.
So Julie said she's trying to call in now.
Okay, great, great.
Thank you.
She is,
Should be coming in now.
okay.
Yeah, I see.
She might just be on her phone, but she said she was gonna,
Yeah, I see you, Julie. Can you unmute for a bit? I'm gonna ask people that are, calling in or zooming in, if there's anyone with them. So I was hoping you'd be able to reply, but I see you're on mute. Okay, there you are. Thank you, Julie. So I am calling the meeting to order. It is 5:12, and raise your hand or speak up if anyone calling or zooming in has anyone with them in their space.
No.
Okay, seeing none, then for the record, we are all here by ourselves. Let's see. The first thing I want to say was there is no public comments.
no.
Yeah, for any of the agenda items. So we can move to well, Greg, do you want to make a motion?
Oh, why don't we approve the minutes first and then we can then make a motion.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Are there any corrections or changes to the October 3rd minutes that have been circulated?
No.
If not, could I have a motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Thank you, Diana. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, Greg. Motion and second. All in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, say aye or raise your hand. Aye. Okay, unanimous. Okay, so maybe Greg, you want to make a motion?
yeah, we're gonna be losing some members tonight, before the end of the meeting, and, I'd like to make a motion to take, item 7, executive session, out of order, and move to go into executive session now to consult with our attorney, on questions and issues pertaining to our duties, powers, privileges, immunities, and liabilities pursuant to HRS 92.5A4, regarding our project review and decision-making process, as part of the joint management role we share with MKSOA.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Julie. All in favor, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
All right,
Okay, unanimous. So we will move into executive session and then we'll resume with the regular meeting once we're done. So Alapaki, you have a question?
Like you said, I know you're inviting me into the session. I'm confirming if John is in that session or not.
would you like John to join this, session, executive session?
Well, I guess because of what the agenda item is,
Yeah,
it might be good for you guys to have both of our perspectives on where we stand. I don't want
Gary,
to speak. I don't want to speak for him. So
yeah. Gary, is there any issue with that?
Well, if participants are pertinent to the topic of the executive session, you can certainly invite them. To the extent the meeting is called to talk to your lawyer, though, you might not have the privilege attached if you have a non-client participant. So, if John wants to join for a part of it and then be excused, we could complete the meeting with your lawyer if you so desire.
But for the part, I think for the part about updating where we are, at least what Wayne and I are doing with John and the authority, it would be great if we could update, the board together, and you could get both of our perspectives, and then, at least that part I think would be helpful.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, John, are you comfortable joining executive session for a part of it?
Yeah,
Just so you.
I'm good with that. What I'm trying to figure out is whether or not, from your perspective, you guys would be better served by just having yourselves as part of this executive session. But that's up to you guys.
I would like.
Because I've raised just so you know, I've raised a question with, for example, Bonnie, where we're discussing our relationship with UH and whether or not there's a conflict. Because she sits as an authority member, yet she acts as Greg's boss. So when we're talking about our relationship with UH, how do we handle that? So I'm just trying to avoid this conflict type of issue.
Gary, do you want to opine or give us your thoughts?
Well, yeah, the purpose of the meeting is to consult with your attorney about rights, privileges, obligations, etc. If you want to set that discussion with a brief, I think, Pasha said update, just to make sure everybody knows the factual context of this discussion, I think that would be appropriate. But as I said, to actually have the full exec session under the reasons stated in the motion, I think John would have to excuse himself at that point.
Yeah. Well, I would like maybe, John, for you to give your perspective as well as Alapaki and the Board of Regents on our board, and then we'll ask you to leave so that we can continue, the executive session discussion.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, so Greg, the link is the same. We're just going to be using your computer. Is that correct?
No, we took care of the issue on our side. So just use the executive session link. Just link into that. It's live already.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, heading out.
Okay.
John has that.
Someone will provide that to Mr. Kubegi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you send that to John? That link, please. Gotta run through it real quick.
Just wait for Gary.
What about Roberta?
That's
Oh, there she is. So it's YouTube back on,
Yep, it's been on.
just in case.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm going to call the meeting back to order. It is now 6:17. And I'm going to ask Greg to summarize the executive session.
Sure, thank you, Chair. During executive session, the Maunakea Management Board members were educated about discussions that are ongoing between the Regents and Maunakea Stewardship Authority board members regarding a process for helping to define what joint management will look like and how it would actually work as we move forward. Regents Chair Alapaki Nahalea and Maunakea Stewardship Oversight Authority Chair John Komeiji provided Maunakea Management Board members background information on the discussions that they've had up to now. So it was for our education benefit to understand some of what's been discussed. There were no decisions made, no actions taken. We did have a chance to consult with our attorney without authority chair John Komeiji as well afterwards. So that's my summary of what was covered in the executive session.
Thank you. So we can move back to the regular agenda, Kahuku report.
Yeah, so, Chair, I'm going to combine my Kahuku report with my, Executive Director's report. Yeah, so just to save a little bit of time, and I'll try to go through this quickly because I know we have two presentations, on tap for tonight as well. Kahuku, as you folks know, met back in August for a retreat up at Halepohaku. And then since then, we've had a couple of productive meetings, sort of discussing some of the things that have come out of the retreat. One of the things that they did work on was some revisions to their mission and vision, which once we clean that up, I'll ask Shane to share that with you folks. But one of the things that has come out of their retreat, it is a desire and interest, particularly as we prepare for transition to the authority, to look at a range of issues and management actions and policies that they've identified that they want to review and update. One of the categories of issues they want to look at sort of generally fall within this area of educating and promoting of respectful behavior, particularly among visitors. The photo that you see there is a photo taken by one of our rangers of an ahu at Lake Waiau, which is not within our managed land areas, but it is an example of the kind of thing that they find when they go out and survey Lake Waiau on behalf of DOFA. And it's the leading of this kind of offerings, if you will, as well-intentioned as it may be, that actually has real stewardship consequences, and in some cases are not the appropriate kind of behaviors or protocols or practices to be occurring around some of these sites. So they want to begin looking at how we are educating and promoting the respectful behavior, particularly by visitors around when they visit Mauna Kea. In addition, they want to, or related to that, look at some of our policies around cultural site protections and protocols, and how sites are being utilized, if you will, by cultural practitioners. They want to look at, are there ways that the university can help with the celebration of important celestial events that are very important to Hawaiian cultural practitioners who come up to the Mauna. And then they also want to take a look at some lessons learned from other wahipana around the state. If there's management actions that we can adopt and integrate into our own management plan. So these are some of the broad categories of things that they're interested in looking at. As the next 6 months roll out, they'll be prioritizing what they want to take on and what they want to review. So there may be some amendments to some of the cultural policies that they've developed in the management actions, or as directed by the management actions that we'll want to bring back to this group as well. So I'll keep you folks informed of that progress. Any questions on Kahuku?
No.
No questions.
Okay. Regarding our transition or work on transitioning and preparing for transition, as I shared, there is a proposal that the Mauna Kea Stewardship Oversight Authority will be considering regarding the formation of a joint management working group As I shared in my summary of the executive session, the purpose of that group would be to develop a process for helping us define how joint management would work going forward. So that's on tap. The Stewardship Authority will be considering that proposal themselves, and then eventually we would need to consider it on the UH side as well. They have started recruitment, or they did initiate recruitment for executive director. Chair Komiji tells me they've had applications coming in. And so that screening process will be starting soon. And then the last thing is, as I've mentioned to you in the past, the framework that we've kind of adopted at CMS as we work through, prepare for and work through the transition with MKSOA is that we're looking at this as kind of a combination of a startup, because that's what MKSOA is. It's really starting a new state agency, along with a merger, along with an acquisition. And for those who do this kind of work, you know that each of those organizational forms or activities require their own set of due diligence and actions that need to be considered. So that's kind of the framework that we've taken. I've mentioned to you folks the idea that, or the work that we've started now to inventory all of our assets, liabilities, entitlements, plans, and obligations. There's a listing of some of them. Along with that is needing to inventory all of our real property, the CIP projects, how they were funded, licenses, equipment, vehicles, vendor contracts, intellectual property, and whatnot. With Nahua's help, she's developed a 164-item merger and acquisition due diligence worksheet that we are using as a checklist to help organize all the information that we need to organize in preparation for a transition. This is information that the authority we're assuming will want and will need and will be using in their determination of how they want to set up their management. So this is a large effort in and of itself, and Nahua and the team are really sort of being asked to do a whole bunch of extra work in addition to the daily work that they have. But it's important work, and it's actually helpful to us because we are now being able to document some things that we didn't have good documentation of in the past. There have been several legislative briefings, or a couple of legislative briefings that John, myself, and others from university and Keck and other observatories have been involved in. There was a briefing to the House Finance Committee on, I think it was October 17th. And it was a large group, partly a briefing at Halepohaku, and then also they did a tour of Keck as well. And we tried to cover, John talked about or Chair Komeiji talked about the MKSOA transition work that they're doing. I talked about what we're doing. And then also Doug Simons was able to talk a little bit about UH astronomy. And of course, they had a chance to visit an observatory as well. Tomorrow, we have another briefing scheduled with the Ways and Means Committee from the Senate. And that's at 7:30 tomorrow at Imiloa. And same sort of thing, they're asking for an update on where we are with the transition. So, and then also on the 28th or 28th, we did provide a on-site briefing for Senators Tim Richards and Elefante and their respective staff as well. And Chair Komeiji was part of that, along with Doug Simons and myself and others. So lots of interest by the legislature on sort of how things are progressing. I forgot to send out the notice for you folks today, but on the legal side, there was a land board hearing today regarding the issue of TMT or TIO's start of construction date. So this was a virtual meeting. It was actually not a full-on hearing. It was oral arguments. It was basically the attorneys and representatives of the different organizations involved that presented oral arguments as to why start of construction criteria or requirements have been met or have not been met. So we're told that the meeting went from 1 to right before the start of our meeting. We're told that be about 30 days before a transcript of the proceedings are completed, and then parties will have 10 days after that to file any final arguments, and then land board will issue its ruling. And lastly, I can't remember if we've shared this with you folks, but this is something that we're real happy to report. A couple of weeks ago, early in the year, our Rangers team had been nominated to be recognized as one of our team management teams or teams of the year for RCUH. And in fact, they were selected as co-winners this year, along with another team doing marine and atmospheric research. And we're real proud of the team. Not everybody had a chance to go, but the award was really a representative of the whole group. And I'll ask Nahua to send you folks the link. There's a very nice video that RCUH did highlighting their work that was part of the whole process. But kudos to our Ranger team. And so with that, that ends my executive director's report. Any questions?
No questions. We can move to the agenda items, natural resource update, and then the education and outreach update.
Yeah. Nahua, you want to introduce?
Yes.
I guess Justin, I'll go first. Yeah.
So I know all of you know Justin Ye. He's our resource manager for our natural resources program. So he's going to give an overview tonight of our kind of the progress we've made over the past year. But I also wanted to introduce 2 new hires that we have. Taylor Warner, she wants to wave there, and Maunakea Robbins. Both were recently hired as resource associates, so they're working in the field. Taylor, you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Aloha, I'm Taylor. I grew up here on the Big Island in Mountain View and graduated from UH Hilo with environmental studies and UH Manoa with my master's in geography. So super happy to be part of the team and nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
And Maunakea?
Hello, everybody. My name is Maunakea Robbins. I'm from Waianae, Oahu, but I recently moved in Hilo to go to grad school. But yeah, I got my bachelor's in environmental science from Washington State University, and then I did my master's at University of Hilo, or Hawaii Hilo, in tropical conservation biology. But yeah, excited to be here. Mahalo.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, ladies. And then I'll just turn it over to Justin.
Justin, before you start, I just wanted to say, in my executive director's report on my first slide, you saw this picture with 3 tiny little dots walking up this big pool. That was Justin, Taylor, and Maunakea this summer, doing some of their monitoring. But when the ranger who took that shot shared it with me. I was just struck by what a vivid depiction of what actual resource management on Mauna Kea on the ground looks like. And so I wanted to share that with you folks tonight because I knew that they would be here with us.
Good work.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, so I'll just share my screen. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See. Okay. There you go. Okay, so thanks for having us or having me give you guys a quick update of our 2023 highlights. So Noah did a good job of introducing our resource management team. I'm Justin Ye, the resource management manager. Taylor Warner and Anuhia Robbins are associates of mine, and then Patricia Heidenfeld and Nahia Nawahini Palago is our technicians out there in the field and greenhouse. And so just a little bit of our staffing, and then we also have a bunch of selfless volunteers that come up and help us, as well as a pipes intern that we hosted this summer. And so our current management actions right now, they're broken up into cultural and natural resource management, which I'll get a little bit into how we implement these actions on the ground. Greg introduced you guys to that a little bit earlier. But then also our education and outreach management actions, which Kaleo will talk about in a later presentation. And then our activities and uses and monitoring and evaluating of our management plans and actions and how we can update and enhance those. So the standard operating procedures is what we really do on the ground. They were brought up by the Invasive Species Management Plan in 2015. So these include cleaning of vehicles, personal belongings, inspection of vehicles and construction materials for observatory personnel, and then invasive invertebrate early detection surveys of facilities where we go out and we monitor populations within observatories to make sure they're not housing any invasive arthropods, as well as our annual invertebrate early detection and vacuum bug monitoring program and our early detection arthropod and vegetation surveys out at our cultural monitoring sites. So this past year, I think we've had over 150 inspections so far. And then we've turned away about 6 vehicles to get re-inspected because they had ants infestated in those vehicles. So this SOP2 is important for us to prevent any transport of unwanted biological creatures up there. And then also our facility monitoring early detection surveys were resumed since July of 2022, but we started those back in March of this year. And we haven't found any new threats in the area. And then I think we found about 110 vacuum bugs in our annual monitoring sites, which is a very low number this year compared to last year where I think they got over 3,000 individuals in 70 sites, where this year we went to about 106 sites, or 111 sites actually, sorry about that. And then we also went to 90 cultural sites to conduct our early detection and arthropod vegetation surveys. We also did, I think, over 12 volunteer weed pull days with community volunteers, observatory personnel, different education and outreach groups that came up. And then we were able to outplant 110 silver sword in the wild with the partnership of DLNR. And we're also propagating over 200 new individuals of the Hina in our greenhouse. And we're continuing that partnership with them well into the future. We also obtain a research permit for the silver and sword enclosure and are able to do community stewardship within that area next to Viz and do some weed management and planting in that area. Like I mentioned earlier, our cultural resource monitoring, there's 263 historical sites within the UH managed lands, and we've conducted about 90 cultural monitoring observations on those different sites. We're set to finish those up in November or December, or later this month or December. And then there's actually 109 sites in the Maunakea Ice Age Natural Reserve, but that's in an area that we're not solely responsible of managing. And then along for our research permits, and Becker, I got in contact with her. She gave me a little update about the ohelogenomics. She found that the Vexinium species up there could be considered a separate species, and they're looking at naming that species specifically for Mauna Kea. Walter Haley's is continuing his research in high elevation effects on the body, and he's set to come back next spring, I believe. And then Dan Rubinoff and Brad Rio are wrapping up their arthropod food web surveys. Where I was able to catch one of Brad's presentations and the effects of vacuum bugs on their food webs, and they've actually found that vacuum bugs through stomach content DNA analysis are actually eating some centipedes or baby centipedes that are in the area, which is pretty interesting. Norbert Schorofer is doing a permafrost study, and he just submitted us a 3-year extension and research plan for his monitoring of the permafrost that's still on Haukea and Pu'uveku. He believes that these permafrost areas are gonna disappear within the next 10 to 20 years. So we've helped to support him in his study of that. And then Heather Stever is studying vacuum bug diversity, and she is wrapping up her research as well and is going to present at the environmental committee meeting on Thursday, November 9th. And Simon Tachera submitted her dissertation in 2022 and we have that in our library right now. And she was studying the water isotopes and some of the hydrology of Mauna Kea. And then that's pretty much it. And I'll just open it up for questions.
I had a question. I'm wondering if you have any idea what caused the drop in the population of the vecchio bug that you found this year.
Might have been timing, or it just might have been a new crew doing the surveys. This is all our first time doing it this year. But the populations have been known to fluctuate all the way from 200 one year to about 7,000 in other years. So there's just a huge fluctuation of population and maybe timing because of their 52-day life cycle.
Thank you.
No problem.
So I have a question. So that last picture, is that a full-size silver sword? And is that a Mauna Kea?
Yeah, that was off of R1. That was in an area by Waipaoi Gulch, and they're just outplanted individuals by DLNR and DOFA. And that was pretty much like, yeah, pretty magnificent specimen, I guess, like a pretty outstanding one. And as you can see, they kind of flower. When they flower, they get 10 feet tall kind of thing.
Wow.
And Justin, is that where you guys are doing the planting right now? Where that's where you seen that specimen?
No, we're doing those up in an enclosure up of R4, so it's a little higher up. But yeah, those are kind of just outplanted by DOFA, and I think some of those came from the 1972 or 1973 and 1997 cross-pollination of
Oh,
those seeds.
wow. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Justin. It's always refreshing and a great great way to understand, what we as a board are trying to promote, and to actually see, you guys doing the boots on the ground work. I mean, it's really heartwarming. So thank you for all that you and your team has done.
No problem. No, thank everyone for giving us a chance, and we're proud to do all the things that we're doing.
Great.
Thanks, Justin. You're gonna show his. We're trying to pull up Kaleo's PowerPoint.
Okay.
Well, you want to introduce Kaleo? Or...
Sure. I don't know if we got to introduce Kaleo earlier. He's our new education and outreach coordinator, and so Kaleo, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Aloha, board members. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Kaleo Pilago. I'm born and raised in Kona. Came to Hilo in the long time ago, in the 90s for college, and kind of my wife and I settled down. And yeah, I got my associates from HCC, my bachelor's from UH Hilo, and my master's from UH Hilo as well. And my focus was always education, Hawaiian studies, and Pacific Island studies. So yeah, I've been an employee of the university since 2007. I did student affairs, academic affairs, and when this position with CMS came up, I really saw it was a really good, positive way to get involved with, with just a new direction of the mountain and a new direction with everything. So yeah, it's just a little bit about me, and I'm still in Hilo. I still miss Kona, but it's a short trek over the hill. But yeah, Hilo's been really good to us. So aloha to everybody. I think Courtney has my PowerPoint.
And I just wanted to add a really fun bit about Kaleo. He has extensive, I guess you would say, navigation, Hawaiian wayfinding experience. So that's like a little added plus for us.
Been fortunate. I've been part of the voyaging scene from '93. Kind of went in as a teenager, with good exposure to some of the old and experienced sailors. So it's been a big part of my life. Haven't sailed in the last few years, but there's opportunities coming up. So we'll see. Tie it into education and outreach. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Training. Yeah. Yeah, so again, I'm the coordinator for CMS's education and outreach program. And we've been and I've been on board since May, but we've been trying to really stay active in just networking and partnering and trying to bring in different groups. We're doing a couple different things. We do outreach where we participate in community events, share what CMS does, kind of encourage people that wants to get involved, just kind of provide opportunities to different people. And as some of the recent projects we had, one of the first ones we did was with the Lanakila Learning Center. It's an ALC, Alternative Learning School here in Hilo. It's based out of Hilo High. The director, Wendy Hamane, and I, we work together a lot, but she was one of the first ones I worked with because Lanakila Learning Center with Wendy Hamani, she really tries to encourage her students to get out in the field. These are students that they're great students, but they don't necessarily do so well in a traditional lecture type class setting. But the hands-on stuff, they seem to thrive. So we will maintain this partnership with the Lanakila Learning Center. And then, of course, with the Imilo Astronomy Center, they have a internship program with some juniors and seniors. So they're going to help us with the visitor center updates, mainly the displays, the mobile displays out on the patio. Yeah. Questions? Yeah, I will get to. So the youngest group we had thus far since May was with the Waikuloa Dryland Forest Program. They're based out of Kona, and I forget the teacher's name, but they wanted to bring up a group of students, and we did a work day with them, fed the kids lunch. They were between 8 and 13 years old. So we had them work in the Ahina Hina enclosure because it's fenced, and the kids couldn't run away down on random trails. So it was a really good and safe and contained environment for the younger ones. But they did do a lot, and I think we're going to be maintaining our partnership with them as well. So one of the main, not the main one of the most consistent partnerships I think we're going to establish is with the UH Hilo Education Department, with like Hui is there, and Michelle Ebersol and all of the directors of that program. They created a IS 105 class. It's called Kuleana and Community. It's for like traditional freshmen, fresh out of high school. And with these groups, they are, again, encouraging stewardship projects. It's like a research-based class. But we worked with one group so far. Next week, we'll go and work with the second class. So each class, they team teach, and we initially do a presentation, orientation with the students in class, and then the following week, we take them up and do some actual Aino work up at the visitor center in that Ahina Hina enclosure that Justin mentioned. So there's a lot of work to do in there. We kind of baby stepping it so far, thus far, but eventually the Ahina Hina gonna be ready. And by that point, we should have the planting sites all set up. And more with the outreach stuff. We just as of last week, we participated, CMS participated in the Hawaii Island Career Expo. I was excited about that one because that was an opportunity for myself from the education outreach. And one of our rangers came to talk to students and kids about what they do. And then Anu from Justin's team came and was kind of encouraging students to pursue and look at careers in resource management. And we also had Joy, who does like the planning, administrative paperwork stuff too. So it was a really good event, and we're hoping to do more events where, people from different units within CMS can come and just share with people what they do and kind of share with people the different opportunities that we're offering with CMS. Upcoming projects, the Rod one was this past Saturday. Me and Justin participated in the Rapid Ohia Ohia Love Fest down at the Komoana Ag Complex. That was fun. Looking forward to this Friday. We have the Girl Scouts of America is doing the STEM Fest at Auntie Sally's, and they're expecting like 700 or 800 Girl Scouts to participate. And for that one, I'm just helping to coordinate. I'm going to be there as the support, but we're going to get our very knowledgeable and experienced wahine from CMS to do, to interact with the kids. Yeah. Like we're going to have Blair and from the Rangers, Crystal from the Visitor Center, Anu from Resource Management, and myself as the labor. But yeah, this is going to be a good opportunity for, our staff, the wahines in our staff, to kind of like, show what they do and encourage our youth to pursue different careers. Yeah. on the Mauna and, anywhere in general. But that is this Friday. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have our next group work with the UH Hilo IS 105 classes. So 1 day presentation. The following week, we're going to actually do a work day up the Mauna. Any questions about that?
No.
No.
Right. So I think for me, it's really important, just get out in the community as much as possible, and network as much as possible, because there's a lot of things we can do up the Mauna, community related, and just getting it out there and sharing with people that there's a lot of opportunities to do things up there. Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, me and Justin met with the UH Hilo Kipuka Native Hawaiian Student Center. And we're going to partner with them next semester with their Uluakea Faculty Development Program. It's some program funded on the Hawaii Papua Kel grant. It's some 5-year faculty development grant where you have instructors from all different disciplines. They get they're trained in their specific fields, but through Kipuka they get to incorporate the Hawaiian values, Hawaiian cultural practices, Hawaiian history. And all these different, protocol stuff that aligns with what they're teaching. It kind of helps them to incorporate more of the Hawaii stuff into their curriculum. And so I'm looking forward to that partnership. And in addition to that, these faculty will come, we're going to set up projects for them next semester for the faculty alone. And then as a follow-up, we're going to be working with their students. So that can be that'll be an ongoing partnership too. And looking forward to actually getting that one going. And also under Kipuka, there's a lot of our Kanaka students, or all of our students in general, when they get scholarships, they got to do 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours of community service. So we actually we partnering with them so we can be a work site where students can sign up and actually participate in the projects that CMS offering and fulfill these community service hours. Yeah. And just kind of, I know I keep the education department partnership is pretty solid, and we're going to just keep improving upon that. And just the last thing I have is the developing partnerships is after our Hawaii Island Expo, Connections is expressing interest in bringing their students up and having us come to their classes to talk about what's going on with the Mauna. I'm looking forward to working with the Hawaii Youth Challenge. So they want to do a lot of outside stuff there. Sorry, did you have a question? No questions. And then also Kaumeke, innovations. And after this past Saturday's event, Kanoka and out of Waimea, they like start bringing students up every couple of months. Yeah. So just, we try to really putting a lot of time and effort and energy into getting out into the community, making partnerships, and just providing opportunities for our community to come up to the Mauna. Yeah, that's pretty much, I think, all I have.
So, Kaleo, so really what you're doing is outreach, but you're bridging, right? All the different areas of work within CMS to, interested parties, because I think a lot of the schools, that's like a natural, and being outside, doing things outdoors, I think is also probably a really positive. I think it's impactful because it's different. And when you get your hands dirty and you do stuff, you probably remember it more than just, sitting in a classroom and hearing somebody talk to you. Yeah. So that's great. I mean, that's a lot of work and a lot of, time and energy you're doing. But I think, it'll come back, in multiple folds, the time and energy, and then the impact you're making on students. Yeah. Or the youth, all ages.
Because one of the reasons why, like I shared it with Nahua folks, I was pretty all right at HCC before I came to CMS. Kind of cruising. My job was just gravy. But then post like the activism stuff, I was seeing that a lot of our young students, they kind of was, I don't like to say confused, but they're real hesitant in pursuing STEM fields, not just in astronomy. And it wasn't like one or two. And after a good number of students, I'm like, okay, there has to be another way to encourage students to pursue these STEM fields and these different types of careers. And then, voila, this position came up with CMS. I'm like, okay, this may be kind of an opportunity to do that. And now that, in a short period of time, I still think I should be doing more, but we already managed to bring up over 100 plus students. And, in the next couple months and the next year, I'm thinking we're going to keep ourselves busy enough. Even YWAM out of Kona, Ohana, they have 200 students international that wants to come up like regularly. So,
wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep ourselves pretty busy, and I'm really lucky. Justin guys so far are real open to me recruiting them too. I need help, so they've been a big support, and I'm really happy that they're willing to help me when we have group projects, and community events. Yeah. So
Your problem's gonna be managing the number of, groups that wanna get involved. That's what I think. Yeah.
Especially when they like come up on Saturdays. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have. I'm excited about the things we're doing, just kind of, and about the things that are coming up in the near future, and things only gonna get better, and again, just like you said, just managing, making sure I keep a good calendar, make sure it's make sure I write things down.
And the other thing not Justin, but Kaleo's doing is he's helping to train our staff as well. So what we're trying to do is incorporate a little bit more culture, making sure people are doing protocol, especially Justin's team as they head out to some culturally sensitive areas, doing appropriate protocol before they enter the area. And then also teaching our Viz some protocol as we get more students coming up. A lot of children know protocol, so making sure our staff can respond in an appropriate way. We're lucky Anu is one of our fluent speakers, and so of Hawaiian. So she's helping Justin's team learn the different chants and things like that to help Kaleo. So we've got a good team.
Yeah, that's great.
So Thursday, they're actually going to help me train the visitor center staff, do some protocol stuff with them on Thursday. So they're ready for that. It's a lot easier when there's a few of us helping to teach, as opposed to, plus Anu and Taylor, they get more eloquent chanting voice than me, but like we can all blend in together and sound good. Hopefully sound good.
Oh, what's great is, Nahua, you and your group are like the rock in the pond, and the ripples will just radiate, throughout the whole pond. And that's when it's exciting, because then, and rewarding, I think. Yeah. Wonderful.
I agree.
Yeah.
And because you guys are doing what you're doing, Greg can do his work.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, mahalo nui.
Yeah, mahalo, you guys.
Thank you, Kaleo.
Welcome. Mahalo.
Okay, let's see. Unless you have anything else, Greg, I guess the one announcement I have is the next public meeting will be held on December 5th at 5 p.m. Any other announcements, Greg?
None from me, no.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, so that's December 5th. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving and be with family, enjoy, and remember you have to recharge so you can keep going, right? Because you got to keep that battery, your body battery, ready for the days ahead. So thank you, everyone. I guess for me, I'm thankful that, Greg has a really good team. And I think what you feel and what the spirit that you send forth into others is really what is going to make CMS, thrive and Mauna Kea thrive. So mahalo nui for all that you do. Okay.
Thank you.
That's
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, that's it for me. Aloha. So I will adjourn the meeting. It is now 7:04 p.m. So right on schedule. Thank you very much. Aloha.